What's good, everybody? It's your man Big Don coming live now to another TruPlayaz Podcast episode. There's a little bit somber mood about this episode because one of the greats lost his life tragically in an accident. I got two of my guest hosts. Of course, everybody knows Joey G, brother from another mother. I got my other brother from another mother, Pretty Ricky, what they call him. You know what I'm saying? So we start with Pretty Ricky. What's good, man? Let people know who you are.
What's good, man? It's Rick Brown in the building. What's good with you, brother?
You know, same old. You know, we just trying to make it happen. This podcast, TruPlayaz Podcast, keeping it gully, keep it straightforward, honest, in your face, subjects. Joey G, let the people know. What's up?
What's going on? This is your man Joey G, just chilling with my boys. It's been a minute since we were in the same place at the same time. I just wanted to be a part of this and talk about one of the greats passing and give my words and lay it to rest.
No, I got you. Definitely, as you people know, it's been circulating through the past 24 hours. Kobe Bryant passed away in a tragic helicopter accident in Calabasas, California, at 10 a.m. Pacific time, which is 1 o'clock New York time. And this is tragic. When I first seen the news come up on TMZ that he passed away in a helicopter crash, I was like, this is a hoax. This ain't real. Then we go double check ESPN or something like that, or CNN, and I go on ESPN. It's boom, breaking news: Kobe Bryant has died in a helicopter crash, and it just took me back, man. I was like, wow, this dude is our age. Mm-hmm. He graduated high school when we graduated high school.
Right.
This is one of
Same
our
year.
Yep. This is one of our peers. You know what I'm saying? So it's a very tragic situation. There was conflicting reports that someone told me, I was at work at the time. Someone told me that all his daughters was on the helicopter. Couldn't find out it was only one daughter, Gianna, 13-year-old, was on the plane with him. What a bittersweet, tragic way to lose life with your father, the guy, the one half that put you on this world. And it's kind of sad. My prayers go out to Vanessa and the other three children. Kobe just had a newborn, which is going to be turning one, and I believe in the month of June. That child's not going to be able to know her father. And you got to think about that also. And I've seen people on Facebook say some stuff like, "Oh, there was like 7 other people who passed away." Yes, so 7 other people who passed away, but due to the fact that they had to contact their next of kin, they couldn't release those people's information.
Right.
So I want to give my condolences out to the Alto Belly family. Actually, the husband, Kobe's friend, used to be the coach of Jeff McNeil, the New York Mets third baseman. Jeff McNeil's baseball coach. I believe it was in high school, or maybe in college, but I'm not too sure. He was his baseball coach in one of those levels. And we want to send a shout out, condolences to that family also. Also, Vanessa's sister-in-law also passed away in that helicopter crash also.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We just found out today. So that's another thing too. And like I said, my prayers go out to the families that lost their family members in that crash. There's just one issue I did have though, because as reports started circulating more and more that the LAPD had stopped all the helicopters from flying that morning because of dense fog. So if the LAPD stopped the helicopters from flying that day, how did the pilot get permission to fly in those weather conditions? What do you guys think about that?
The first thing that comes to mind is the situation that happened with Aaliyah. When people have, I guess you could say, a position of power and influence, they can make things happen that aren't necessarily, what's the word I want to use? That like they can bend the rules, or they can have the rules bent for them. And I wouldn't be surprised to find out if some influence was used to say, hey, look, we're only going 10, 20 miles, and we got to get from A to B. And, if we drive, it's going to take X amount of time versus if we fly, we could be up and down and, cut and dry. We could be in and out real quick. It does sound suspicious. Mm-hmm. I'm inclined to believe that's how it happened. Like some type of influence was used to say, hey, look, this is Kobe.
Right.
I'm just going over here to Calabasas or wherever he was headed to, wherever the Mamba Training Center or whatever it's called it was at.
Mm-hmm. Nothing. Go ahead, Joe.
No, I was gonna say that this is something of a routine that he had. He started off this venture because he got tired of sitting in traffic, and he wanted to utilize that time for working out, spending time with his daughters, being able to pick them up. So in that routine, he figured out it was faster to do the helicopter ride. It was 15 minutes to get from point A to point B rather than sitting in traffic and just basically playing roulette and not knowing what you're getting as far as traffic is concerned. He's a very busy man. Time was definitely important to him. So, yeah, this was the faster way to do things. As far as the weather reports, maybe in the area that the helicopter took off, in that specific area, they allowed air flight in that area. Now, once he got to the area where the dense fog was, being this is a routine flight, maybe he felt like he could fly through it because he knows how to navigate. You kind of get on autopilot when you're in a car and you're going to your destination. You kind of see certain things so you know what destinations you're going in. So I want to say it might be the pilot took that into consideration, got into more than he could handle. Mm-hmm. I do recognize that flight controls said he was flying around in a circle for like 15 minutes. Now,
yeah, over the zoo, something like that.
Yeah. And in a situation like that, if you're flying around in a circle and you know you're not going to be able to make it, then that's the decision to either touch down or go back where you came from. It's not happening, and it's not worth getting into a risky situation. But I'm pretty sure that over the course of the next couple of days or weeks, or how long this investigation is going to take place, that we'll find out what truly happened as far as the decision making, or was it a malfunction of the helicopter or operator judgment call.
Okay. Well, the way I understand about the reports that they had hit a mountain. I guess he was trying to navigate through the mountain, mm-hmm. and he just clipped the mountain, and that's when the whole situation started to happen, which they were going down into to their deaths. It's an unfortunate situation. Accidents do happen. You know what I'm saying? It's just tragic that we lost a great person, a great player. Kobe Bryant was a 20-time NBA All-Star. From the time he entered the league, he was an All-Star. First year. 5-time world champion. 2-time. 5 times. 5 times NBA champion. 2-time NBA Finals MVP. A lot of awards. A lot of accolades. It looked like his daughter Gianna was following in his footsteps to become a basketball player also. He was definitely coaching her like he was on her.
Right.
That was his little twin right there. They look alike. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So this guy, granted, when he first came to the league, he was a bit arrogant. I wasn't too fond of him in the beginning.
He was young.
He was young and he was cocky. But the beautiful thing about Kobe Bryant was he backed it up on the court.
Right. Thank you. You know what? Let me say this, because this is coming from the perspective of someone who was not really a basketball fan. Now, I used to be back in the day. Y'all know we used to have our arguments and our debates every year about who's going to the finals. I tell people all the time, I stopped watching the NBA around the time when the semifinals were more exciting than the finals themselves.
Right.
Because if New York and Portland were going at it, everybody wanted to see Spike Lee front row down there talking trash to Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the era when I stopped watching basketball, and I stopped watching basketball after Kobe's second year. And when you talk about the arrogance and cockiness, he kind of he wasn't just a dumb jock. Like, the dude was proficient. You know, he was nice with it. You know, I remember him and Jordan going tit for tat on the same court. You know, and if I remember correctly, like, Kobe had just had like his highest scoring game so far. Now, this was years before those 81 points. Like, he had only scored like 30 points, but at that time, like, that was his highest score. And Jordan still outperformed him because he scored like 40 points. But Brian broke his own record again. Like, he put up like 33 points or something like that. And he dunked on, well, he didn't dunk on Jordan. Jordan chased him to the rim, but he couldn't catch up to him. You know, that's not exactly dunking on Jordan, but still, you know, Jordan got to a point some years after his retirement where he says, you know, if I came back to the game, the only person who could take me one-on-one right now is Kobe. You know, and I think that he was young and immature to have that cockiness and that arrogance, because as the years went by, you saw that maturity grow into a humility that started to show, not just on the court but outside of the court, because you would hear about the bickering and the you know, the family issues going on inside the team, but the professionalism of that group, how they were able to work through it and get it together, and you know, push through and win championships.
Right.
You know, for me, when I look at somebody like this gentleman, he was literally born 2 days after me. So to say he's my age, like, he's literally my age.
Exactly.
I look at where my life is versus where his life is, and I don't feel bad or anything about my situation. However, I feel inspired to do more things and to do more great things and to venture out and to try to achieve a higher level, because here was somebody who was literally born 2 days after me, 2 days younger than me. 48 hours separated us, and look at the legacy that he was able to leave when he left this earth. Because we're not talking about a natural death. You know, we're not talking about, you know, some disease took him. Like, he was literally taken in the middle of his actions, in the middle of his daily routine. You know, and that's just a kind of a somber reminder to all of us that, you know, we're not promised the next moment.
No.
You know, do what makes you happy. Go
Exactly.
for it. You know, reach for the stars. Reach for your dreams. Go. You know, it to me, it lights a fire underneath me. You know, in this still somber moment. I do feel bad about, you know, the fact that he had to leave behind his other little girls and his wife. You know, there's no replacing your spouse. There's no replacing your child. You know, no matter how many children you have, you can go out and get married again. You're not going to replace that family that you had.
No.
You know, so if anything, that's my reason for wanting to be included in this podcast, to remind everybody that, you know, you're not promised tomorrow. Reach for your dreams. You love somebody, tell them you love them. Hug them, high five, handshakes, daps, all that good shit. Life is never promised the next moment.
And I want to add to that, D. I want to add that leave the perception behind. Stop perceiving people. Stop using perception as your guide of dealing with one person. Come speak to a person with an open mind.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? Because you never know. You may end up getting the wrong idea by perceiving someone the wrong way, and they turn out to be. And you create a confrontation by the way you approach that person because of that perception you have of them.
Yep.
And there's nothing. That's the beautiful thing about it too. He died while being a father,
Right.
while being a mentor
Yeah.
to his daughter. He was taking it to a travel team basketball game that he was a coach of. For me, that's what hurts.
Right.
He was doing the right thing, being a father to his child. Something that a lot of men don't do for their children. Being involved. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the most important thing. Every second is precious in this life that we have because we only have one life to live. And we got to take that. We got to take it seriously. We have to maximize each second of the day. We got to carefully plan our days now because if we don't do that, we may miss something and we may not get it back. Because the one thing you don't get back in this lifetime is time.
Sure.
You don't get it back. There's no DeLorean say, "Oh, I'm gonna go in a time machine and go back 5 minutes ago to correct that." No, that's done. So that's one thing. And his death touched so many NBA players. There was games that they're still being played that both teams took a 24-second violation in tribute of him because he wore the number 24.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, and a lot of guys, LeBron was crying. It's just he touched so many people in such a way that garnered this type of reaction. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When Phil Jackson came to the Knicks, I was hoping Kobe was going to come to the Knicks to Carmelo to get that last push for a championship. It never happened, but the idea was there that it was. I hope it was going to happen.
I remember to talk about that.
And something that he mentioned, he was like, because there was an issue with the ownership at the time that he didn't know if they wanted him. They thought they were going to cut him. So he was like, if Lakers cut me, I'm going to New York with Phil.
Why not?
You know what I'm saying? His final game as a professional basketball player, he dropped 60 points. Just when you ever heard of that?
Now that's going out with a bang.
A big bang.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? But the irony is that LeBron surpasses him as a third place for most points scored by a player. He dies a few hours later. That's the shit that caught me off guard. I was like, wow, that's a big irony right there.
Right.
And then think about how much he grew as a person to go from that cocky, arrogant kid that started in the league to just hours before this incident. LeBron did surpass him, and the news got to him. Like he said, "Congratulations, my brother. Keep it moving forward."
Right. Right.
I guess being in that position of in sports, you're setting a standard for somebody else to follow behind you to try to beat that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a passing of the torch.
Right.
And he left a lot of marks in not on and off the court. As far as conducting yourself as a man, a husband, a father, a leader, a mentor. I mean, there's a lot of things you can look at that he's done. He wasn't perfect, but he showed growth.
Yep.
He did.
He showed growth. At the end of the day, that's what you look for in a man, period. And to be a black man and have a lot of positivity behind your name leaving this world, is a great thing. That he didn't leave with the sour note. He didn't leave on doing something shameful or disrespectful to his fans or family or in any way. So it's bittersweet that he's left, but I'm glad he left on a positive note with his daughter. On the way to a traveling basketball game for her.
Mm-hmm. This death is going to be hard to get over for everybody.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to get over for everybody. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to be tough, for everybody. I mean, for the family, mostly his wife. Forget it. They've been through ups and downs. Their marriage stood the test. They've been for each other through better and for worse.
Mm-hmm.
They stuck it out. They could easily had that divorce when he had that case a few years back, but she stuck it out with him. You know what I'm saying?
She did.
And it wasn't about money.
Right.
It wasn't about money. She loved.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, they made a big deal when he first got married about the fact that there was no prenup.
Right.
So I think if I remember correctly, I think the term the way they put it was he loved her too much to do that.
Right.
And this was when he was fresh in the league, like he had only been in like 3 or 4 years.
Right. Right. I think they got married. She was 17 or 18 at the time when they got married.
Yeah, because remember, he was fresh out of high school when he went to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
He was I think he was the first to actually go straight from high school to the NBA.
No, Kevin Garnett did it the year before. There was a few more players that went straight from high school to NBA, but he was one of the select few who actually became a Hall of Famer coming out of high school.
Gotcha.
Just like KG and Moses Malone came out of high school, they're about to be Hall of Famers.
Mm.
And if the dudes came out today, Kobe's going to be inducted to the 2020 NBA Hall of Fame, which is not is going to be like usually the eligibility is after 5 years of retirement, but because of the death and what happened, he's going in this year.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's a tragic situation.
Definitely.
But one thing I want to touch on before we disconnect on this episode is the insensitivity and the racism that still comes up in a tragedy. Did you see that clip? Was it MSNBC?
Yeah,
I think it was.
When this reporter said Los Angeles niggers.
Yeah.
And she had another say it was by accident. How the hell you get nigger from Lakers?
Supposedly, now here's the excuse.
Uh-huh.
I'm objective in presenting to you what she said. I'm not buying the shit. Okay. But her excuse was she had mixed up the names of the Lakers and the Knicks, and she said Knickers. I'm sorry. First of all, let me say this. I don't care if you put an A at the end of the word or an ER at the end of the word. Mm-hmm. Know your fucking role.
Bingo.
If you got that group of friends that you grew up with and they cool with you and it's nigga this, nigga that, whatever, you know better than to go 2 towns over and talk that nigga this, nigga that shit. That's first of all. Second of all, you're supposed to be professional.
Right.
If you did slip, mind you, I'm a person who doesn't watch TV. I'm hearing about the shit. So, of course, the shit is blowing up all over social media. Why did it take for you to get back to Why did it take for you to get reprimanded by your superiors for you to issue a statement?
Yeah.
You
Should have
should
been
have hopped
addressed
on that
right
as
then.
soon as possible. Hey, yo, you know what? I just fucked up.
Yep.
Right. Take a second, apologize right then and there, move on.
Because the longer it takes for you to give that apology, the more insincere it seems.
Right.
And like that insincerity, and okay, I can understand. Maybe you were thinking that you said knickers, and you actually said niggas.
Hmm.
You know, if you would have said that, I was thinking this, and it came out like that. Well, you know what? You still fucked up, but hey, let's keep it moving.
Right.
But
Exactly.
the apology itself seems so insincere. Um, when one one of the easiest ways to move on from a fuck up is to admit that you did it.
Right.
Yep.
Otherwise, it's really it's gonna haunt you, and for as long as you allow it to.
Exactly. Exactly. And apologize right away. Don't wait. Don't wait the 2 seconds. Don't wait a minute. Don't wait a day. Don't wait a few hours. Apologize right away. That means you're being sincere about your apology.
For
You
real.
know. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna end this episode, this TruPlayaz Podcast. Any last words from you guys?
Love, peace, and hair grease.
All right, Joey G, what's good? What's your final words?
My final words is keep your friends and families close. Tell them that you love them. Treat them like you love them. And remember, there's always somebody watching you and what you do. So try to be that person that stands out in the crowd doing the right thing.
I got you. I got you. My final words is real simple. Like I said earlier in the podcast, cherish every second of every day because you're not guaranteed the next second. You're not guaranteed the next minute. You're not guaranteed the next hour because God works in mysterious ways, and it's so true. When He knocks on that door, and says time's up. Time is up. You know what I'm saying? So you got like I said, I'm gonna follow up on Joey G. Take care of your family. Be real with your family. Leave the beef behind. Leave the grudges behind. Leave the negative perception that you conjured up in your mind behind. Because most importantly, family is important. Friendship is important. And be true to yourself. Be true to your family. Be true to your friends who are technically your family also. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna leave you guys one quote that Kobe left. And this is what he said. He said, I have nothing in common with lazy people who blame others for their lack of success. Great things come from hard work and perseverance. No excuses. It's a beautiful quote. One of his many quotes that I posted on Instagram yesterday. And I'm gonna post some more quotes on it because it's kind of inspiring me in my personal endeavors to go even harder, to be better in my time management, to be better on everything. You know what I'm saying? So it's your man Big Dom signing off the TruPlayaz Podcast. You can listen to the podcast on JoeyG Radio, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, iHeart Radio, Soundcloud, Anchor podcast app, Spreaker podcast app, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Any feedback, comments, hit me up on the email truplayazpodcast@gmail.com, which is TruPlayaz podcast@gmail.com. It's your man Big Dom signing off for Derek Brown, Joey G. Peace.